Welcome back from that break, and now let's get into the discussion. I'm talking about human rights and protection, human rights protection. Let's get a deep insight from a legal advisor, Barrister A.A. Megoro, who is a lawyer, to help us analyze that. It's always a pleasure having you in the studio. He joins me live in the studio anyways. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
It's been your day. This is the first time I'm seeing you in the year 2025, so it's right to say a happy new year to you.
The same to you.
Now,
yes.
What policies or laws are in place to protect human rights and prevent abuses?
There's no way you talk about human rights, you cannot talk about national constitutions, because national constitutions is the only law. I mean, there is a law, the primary law, ground law we have that protect all the citizens of Nigeria from the section 33 to section 45. Chapter 46 is the issue of the High Court. You can sue an action against it, and that is chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. So everybody is entitled to human rights. His right needs to be protected against any other things. No, there's no discrimination as regard to an individual, provided that section says that a citizen of Nigeria under section 25, provided you're a citizen of Nigeria, the Constitution protects, give you rights to freedom, right to fair hearing, right to life, right to religion, right to, from that section 33 up to that section 45. So there's no way, nobody right, if your right has been infringed or likely to be infringed, you can sue such right in the High Court, that is under section 46. So mostly the individual that has the rights, and that's why I say once your right has been breached, you can go to court. You have the section 33, which is the personal liberty, 33 right to life, 34 personal liberty, 34 dignity, 35 person. All these rights is applicable to all citizens of Nigeria. All, no exception, no discrimination, all. And that is why you see some individual, I don't know, when they say all citizens of Nigeria, they mean including the security agencies. Security agencies are also Nigerians under section 25 that I said. So since security agencies are Nigerians, then the rights to their freedom or human rights has to be protected too. But you can see most of the lawyers, that once there's a conflict between a civilian and the armed forces, you will see lawyers rush and they write petition against the military, which those military too, it is that they have equal right with the civilians. They have to enjoy the fruit of the 1999 Constitution, because they are also citizens under section 25. And you see those armed forces under section 217, give them their function as to defending the country from external aggression. So in fact, they are the most people right to be protected, because for us to safeguard our country. But you can see, you hardly see somebody suing or petition civilian or other persons against for the purpose of protecting the rights of the armed forces or other security agencies. And these are the people that have equal right with the civilian. The Constitution says that provided they are citizens under section 25 down to section 28, then their right needs to be protected again. So most of us rights, if there's an act against the civilian with the military or armed forces or any security agencies, they have petition and go for litigation, and that is not supposed to be. Although we should treat everybody equally, the civilian and the others and the security agencies again, because the Constitution does not include them. The Constitution from chapter 1 to chapter 8, there's nowhere from chapter 1 to chapter 8 that says the armed forces does not have right, they don't have rights. In the 1990 Constitution, they are right not to be protected. There only is the right of only civilians to be protected. They also have equal rights with civilians. So, for instance, now, as I tell you, look at an act that occur with the leader of Shiite, Miet Allah, where they have a conflict and act with the Major General. Then some of his members now, stamp the Major General. Before you know, there is a criminal trespass to person. But before you know, lawyers begin to write petition against one, because they have arrested the leader, as to know who are those members that committed the act. And then the lawyer now write petition that for the detention of the leader, and they write petition against the armed forces that why the leader of the Mietala is detained, which of course they have the right to make an arrest under section 40 of the Terrorism and Prevention Act of Terrorism and Prevention Act, that the Defense Intelligence Agency has a function, has a power to make an arrest and hand over such suspects to the appropriate authority for investigation. That was what the Defense Headquarters did. But before you know, we started writing petition against the armed forces that their leader is against fundamental human rights. What about the right of the Major General that has been stamped? He doesn't have the right to, he has equal rights with the civilian. So they should also write petition against the member of the Miete Allah as to the stamp of the Major General. But we don't do that. What I'm trying to say is that we should treat everyone equally, as since the law say equal before the law. Everybody has a right. The military or the armed forces or security agencies they have to enjoy the fruit of the Constitution for Nigeria. So we should not. We have about thousands of petitions against the armed forces. Why? Some issues that are miniature that need to be addressed by way of ADR, you see the petition from petition to litigation, and that is not encourageable. Since we are lawyers, then we need to encourage and notify other professions to respect us more. It's for us to treat everyone equally. So not civilian committing an act against, you say a civilian committing an act against military, without asking questions, they will rush and write petition against the military or armed forces, as the case may be, upon which such particular armed forces or military have the same equal right with the civilian. So their right need to be protected again. That is when they will respect lawyers more. So we need to appeal this issue as today. It's not every act or the miniature act to be, handled before the litigation. That's an issue needs to be addressed by way of ADR, not by way of litigation. So what we are saying is that the Constitution does not, help or does not protect the right of civilian alone. It includes the armed forces. They also have rights, freedom to enjoy the Constitution. From that, the same section from 33 down to 45 to 46. The armed forces also have to enjoy such right again. Such right, not that only the civilians. So what we are saying is that once your right has been infringed, then you must also protect, you must also what? Institute such particular infringement or breach of such right before the High Court under section 45. So everybody should be treated equally. Everybody. All lawyers should treat all the citizens, because the law does not say civilian, it says citizens, and armed forces are citizens of Nigeria. Check section 25, armed forces are citizens of Nigeria. In fact, armed forces are the ones that defend the country. So why is it that slight mistake with the civilian, they begin to write petition and then go into the litigation without adopting the ADR, or in fact when the matter go to the court, then the judgment go promptly? Why? These are the people that also have rights to enjoy in the Constitution. Their right needs to be protected also in the Constitution. So civilians should be petitioned to against the armed forces for why they breach, the armed forces or military rights too. Not to be, turning the reverse is the case. That is to write petition against the armed forces or another person. So their right of everybody is a natural right, and such right needs to be protected, and everybody need to be treated equally before the law. That's what the law said.
Okay, so you are saying that the armed forces are not treated fairly enough.
Yes.
And as per you also mentioned about some level of piled up reports against the armed forces.
Yes.
But have you ever imagined or looked at it in a way that if you're saying that the armed forces are not being treated fair enough, the citizens are intimidating the armed forces, but we've seen cases where even the armed forces tend to intimidate the civilians because they are equipped with arms and the rest of it. We've seen cases like that. We've seen what resulted to NSAS. It was cases like that resulted to NSAS, and many of it. So what would you even say in that regard? I feel like, I'm not trying to support, but I feel like the complaint which you've made, or what you've emphasized on civilians piling up complaints against the armed forces, it's because the armed forces are abusing the civilians because they are equipped, or don't you think so?
No, have you ever seen a petition or a matter before the court that one of the lawyers, or as the case may be, file a petition against the civilian for protecting the right of armed forces? Have you ever hardly for you to see a lawyer petition civilian or litigation for protecting the right of armed forces or military in this country? What I say is that we didn't say that the military should hurt or violate the right of civilian, that they should not, the civilian should not institute an action against the armed forces. We didn't say that. Both the two should be treated equally. This is what we are saying. We have about thousands of petitions against armed forces, and some of the petitions, if you go through there, you will not see that the member of the armed forces or military, as the case may be, they have their rights. It is even their right that have been violated. But because we are eager to write petition, no matter how it ought to go into the litigation, you will not see that we are going to protect the civilian without even examine the fact before them as to know whether who has the truth. But in the medium, they have the mystery in their mind that provided it's between civilian and armed forces or military, as the case may be, we are going to petition or go for litigation against the armed forces or against them. What we are saying is that petition too much.
That's too much.
Yes.
Because the abuse is too much.
No. Okay. What is the act I told you that just of recent occur on the issue of the leader of Allah, that the member stamp the major general. Do you know what it means to be a major general? Stamp the major general. So the major general doesn't have a right again before the constitution. Yes, his right needs to be protected too.
No,
to stamping,
to refer to you saying that there are a lot of piled up petitions against.
This is what we are saying. We didn't say they should stop petition, but some matter has to be examined.
I'm equally saying that, don't you think it's because the abuses or the intimidation from the armed forces to the civilians? The
civilian too are committing an act against the armed forces. Tell me one case, or anybody should come out and tell me one case that there's a case that a lawyer, we follow it, or petition civilian or go to the institutional action against civilian for the violation of the right of armed forces or military. Hardly for you to see that matter before the court. But you see thousands of matter before the court against the armed forces. How do you want them to properly protect our country? We didn't say there should not be the matter against them, should not be petition or institute against an act against them. No, what we are saying, them too have a right. Their right is that people are forgotten that the military or the armed forces also have equal right with the civilian in the constitution, because the constitution says citizens, and they are also citizens. So their right is not dormant in the constitution. It's for them to stand up now to also fight for their right, that if the civilian does something wrong for them, they should action against them again. But what you are saying is that many people are still have forgotten that also the armed forces or military or other security agencies have equal right with the civilian in the constitution. So what you are saying, the constitution, look at what section 1 says, that this constitution is supreme. I shall have binding force on all persons and authorities throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. All persons and authorities. So since it's binding and they have equal right under the section 25, then their right needs to be protected too. People forgot, as I told you. Look at the instance I told you. The leader of such particular military, Allah, his member. There's something we call vicarious liability, but in civil matter. That where an act of member, an act is committed by an agent or servant, then the master needs to be arrested for him to provide the servant or the member or of his member, so that we will not go investigation to know, because like in this act, the armed forces will know where the member is. The person that commits such act against the major general, the armed forces will know where the member is. It is the head that has to be arrested for him to provide the member, and that was what happened. But people started shouting, said that why did they arrest him? Most of our lawyer petition that is they detain him is against fundamental human rights. What about the right of the right of major general? He needs to be protected again. So what we are saying, the member went to the Brekete family, started saying the head of the defense headquarters, General C.G. Musa, or order an arrest against the leader of the Miete Allah. Well, of course, they have the right to do that. Okay. For the investigation, of course, under section 40 of the Terrorism and Prevention Act of 2021, that the armed forces has right to make an arrest and then hand over such suspect to the appropriate authority. By way of through where? Defense Intelligence Agency. That was what they did. They follow, their arrest was in accordance with the Constitution. So lawyer, I don't know why all lawyers, most of lawyers or most of us do write petition without examining the fact before them. I'm a lawyer. It's our profession. I need to protect my profession too. But the truth needs to be done. We need to tell the truth. If anybody violates the right of a member of armed forces, that person needs to be prosecuted too. We should not be rushing and then looking for the matter so far is then we'll rush and then to say, okay, let's go and fight armed forces, let's go and fight armed forces. Why? And then matter go to court, and court, I'm a lawyer, I cannot say something against our profession, but matter go, before you know, the United States, they give the judgment against them. But without looking, the lawyers without looking the fact, examine it, wait, cancel the fact as to the weakness or strength of the fact before you as a lawyer. You have to do that. You cancel your clients, and then as to the weakness or strength of the fact before you not say, okay, let's do this, let's do that. But people rush, most of us rush and then go to court or petitions from which we are not enterprise. Our profession is not enterprise. So we need, if we want our profession to be respected, then we have to do the needful. The needful has to be done. So this is what we are saying in summary. We are saying that Constitution is applicable to everybody in Nigeria, all the citizens of Nigeria, without exception. All the rights, not only civilian, including the armed forces or military, as the case may be, and other security agencies also have rights. They are right also. They have to enjoy the fruit of the Constitution. This is what we are saying. So, if go ask the, I think you are aware or have knowledge of such particular acts. It's too painful for a lawyer for us to go and write petition, go to litigation against somebody that is stamped. The member of such Allah, his cows, enter his farm, talk now, and then after doing everything, then stamp him. And before you know, they arrested the leader, and then we start writing petition against him. That means the Major General doesn't have a right. He's not a human being. Then the head of the armed forces should not make they should fold their hand and look at their member being killed because they are afraid of human rights activists. We should tell you, say, human rights activist function has to be done all, without exception, including the armed forces. Right need to be protected because the Constitution did not provide any exceptional persons, any exception as to note this one is not applicable to this one. No, there's no exception in the Constitution. It's all citizens. So armed forces are also citizens of Nigeria. They are members of Nigeria. They also have right equal with security before the Constitution. This is what we are saying. Okay,
well, again, you would agree with me that a lot of things have happened in this country that people begin to question law, the effectiveness of law, constitutional law. Cases where we've seen, I can go on and on and mention lots of it. We've seen police brutality, we've seen lots of it, we've seen even one that happened recently, daily FARAROTIMI cases and all of that. So in all of this, what do you think should be done, or what kind of reform do you think should be done to strengthen the human right and prevent abuses?
Most of security sometimes, as a constitutional lawyer, is not when you have because you have rights in Constitution, you are alpha and omega to do everything. Yes. No, there's limitation under Section 45.
What did he say?
Of course, that's where there's maybe in public security for the purpose of public safety, public morality. Your right must be limited. Your right must not be exercised fully. Morality for the public safety, public health. So if security now, because of you, an individual, then they want to protect the country entirely because of your right as just one person or 2-3 people, they should allow the country to be killed or the country to be destroyed. No, the Constitution has limitation. Your right has limitation under Section 45. That's why I say right to morality. Morality, public health, and then safety of the country. These are part of limitation of your rights. So the security cannot fall down because you have right to freedom of movement, freedom of under Section 41 and other sections from 33 down to 45. Because you have such right, then you should do whatever you want to do. No, stopping or arresting or doing things by the security agencies, they should not exceed it. But doing sort of a thing, they also have a right to protect the country. Without the country, then you cannot exercise your rights. The country needs to be protected. And that is what I say for public safety, public morality, or public health. So you cannot exceed because you have a right your constitution has guarantee you right to fair hearing, right to movement, right to this, right to that, right to that, because you say I have right. Then you begin now to do whatever you want to do. No, there must be a limitation. So to me, those limitations are part and parcel the reason why you see some of the security maybe intervening into the right of somebody because the civilian or other people exceed his rights, and there's a boundary for you to do. So there's no way now such particular rights you have been exceeded, then they should further and allow the country to destroy. No, the country, they are talking about answers. I mean, what do you call it? Protests. Of course, the protest, because you have individual enter somebody's farm. I mean, shop, destroy your shops. The one that you say it's my right to destroy your shop. No, that's a criminal offense. So you have exceeded your right. Because the person you intervene into your privacy under Section 37 is also has a right. He can sue you. So for him, who are they going to protect the other civilian? They are the security agencies. Now, how are they going to protect the other civilian that they enter his shop, destroy or house? There is for them to arrest those ones to also limit their rights. That look, your right does not mean you should do everything you like. So arresting them is part and parcel of the Constitution, which guarantees the security to do so under Section 425, as to limit the right of civilian or any other person that is trying to exceed such particular function or boundary of his rights. That's what is supposed. That's what is going on.
You know, it's quite interesting that I have you in the studio as a lawyer and
yes.
a legal practitioner. Now, we've seen so many things happen in this country, and at some point, you wonder how we look in the eyes of the international countries or other countries. We've seen powers being abused. We can go on and talk about it. In our political system, everywhere, there seems to be abuse of power. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to understand, what do you think, or what advocacy do you think should be deployed to, strengthen or create awareness more on human rights, and again to eradicate corruption? Because we as a country have one problem. Nigeria as a country have a very big problem, which is corruption, where you see in a political system things are not going well, things are there is abuse of power in almost every office. So what strategies or what advocacy strategy would you advise Nigeria should do you advise what do you advise should be done in order to enlighten people more on human rights and eradicate corruption entirely?
So to say, if you see anything that is going on in the country, you have to inform the security agencies. And once you have a function and you assist such function, then anybody that has been caught or been seen doing corrupt or doing something that is contrary or exceed his function or contrary to the country, he needs to be arrested. That's just it. What we are saying is that once you are arrested, then nobody should bring or call any godfather. That is, let the justice take its place. Let the court do its justice. This is what we are saying. No matter who you are, the law did not say this one is bigger. No. So if the advice is, if we can follow our constitution, the law, the way it's supposed to be, no matter who person committed offense, then that person should be treated as if he's nobody. I'm sure we will have limitation of such corruption.
The judiciary happens to be an independent body, am I right?
Yes.
But again, a lot of people seem to have lost hope in the judiciary.
Oh no, judiciary, they are doing well. They are doing well in this country. In fact, they are the mother of the democracy in this country. There's no way you say you lose hope before the judiciary, because most of the things that judiciary is taking as its own function, you've seen it in this country. Okay, how many people have you seen that have given a judgment against and they are big men in this country? They are there. So judiciary now come out and clear themselves that of course nobody above the law in this country. They are doing well. So if you lose hope,
so
then you lose
the hope of the community.
Of course, they are part and parcel of the hope because okay, haven't you seen many people that have been arrested? The case of Bello, isn't it a big man? Hasn't been arrested? Hasn't been prosecuted? The matter is going on now. Isn't it a governor? A former governor. There's so many cases, the Zuki and other things, that the cases that are going on before the court. So nobody should lose his hope before the judiciary. Judiciary are doing well. Without the judiciary, many things will not be. In fact, the country will not stand. You cannot run away from judiciary and the security. Security and judiciary, they are just protecting the country, but they need to work more on their functions.
So do you think the judiciary system or body needs to be sanitized?
Of course, they know in every general rules there must be an exception, or in everything there must be, you must have some things, one or two things that's going on in the society or in the organization. So we cannot say everybody is clean. There must be some issues that is raising on, and that issue is for us now. Is the best thing for us is to discharge our function in accordance to the, because we swear. Before they give you an appointment, you must swear with the Quran or a Bible. So if you can take and then make a strong faith that, of course, if I do something wrong, then God will do this to me. Or if you are thinking about human being, you will not do well in the country. But do that, you live there, and then you are putting many people in trouble. Your children may be there. Then everybody, your relative must be there. So what if you are not there and such of thing happen to them? Do that as if you are doing for yourself. So if you are doing that as a staff of judiciary, or as a judicial general, or everybody in this country, I'm telling you that this country will move well, and then there must be very big development in this country.
Okay, what role do you think the international body can play? What mechanism role do you think they should play? I mean, United Nations to, to utilize or address human rights abuse in Nigeria. No.
Of course they are doing. They are the one that brought the issue of we imitate from them, the law from them. They also committed an offense violating human rights too. They are coming in, they are intervening into the matter of human rights. What we are saying is that's why they say Amnesty International. They are also coming in where I say rights. So what we need to do is that for them and for everybody, we are not independent. We need not somebody not to come and teach us how to handle ourselves, our country. For us to trust ourselves, for us to do what is needful. This is what you are saying. The international or whatever outside country, they need to intervene into us. No, nobody needs to intervene, because them too, they are the one that created the laws. We imitated the law from them. They should help everybody to go and defend his own country and then sanitize his own country too. We too are sanitizing our own. So sometimes now, when somebody leaves his country and come and sanitize your country, there's a lot of things that's happening in his country. So at the time, when we need them, we're not invited to come and intervene as to our predicament. But we are doing is for the best of our knowledge, for the best of our, we should try our best and then sanitize our country, the issues that are happening in the country, so that our country will develop. It's everywhere, not judiciary alone. It's everywhere. Both.
Boy, it has to start mainly from the judiciary.
In the executive too. Where did you leave the executive?
The executive, the judiciary can hold the executive responsible if need be. But in what we are seeing today, what is playing out today, don't seem to be. And the common man, the judiciary, which is supposed to be the hope of the common man, is not. But that's aside. I want you to give us a better understanding when it comes to freedom of speech. We see cases in this country today where if you talk, or maybe you come out and say anything in any way, people are being apprehended for speaking up. Is it right?
That means they see their right. Of course, if you have freedom of expression or freedom to speech, then such particular your freedom under section 39, as the case may be, does not mean that you exceed it. Your freedom of expression has limitation. There's no way because you have freedom of expression, then to speak, then you begin to speak things anyhow that will affect somebody's right again. It's not possible. What people fail to understand is that when you have a right, you do something, you say something, and they arrest you. Examine the right very well, whether or not the person is exceeding his right. There must be there's a scope, there's a limitation of your right. So some people, we need to have a workshop on how to enlighten people about the constitution. That doesn't mean when somebody speak, you say just because he tell the truth, then they arrest him. No, there are some things you got to speak. You exceed your function, you need to be arrested. There are some things if you speak will destroy the whole country. Don't you know? There must be things that because you are exercising your rights, you say something, those people that have no business with that thing will imitate you, and they begin to do it. That will see the country. Look at just of recent, they arrested is it Mr. Akpa, or the person that is outside country instigating people in Nigeria because by way of his words, instigating people in Nigeria to commit an act. So some words are changing people in the country. So there's no way. We have to be Nigeria government has to be examining people's opinion and then speech, so that they will not exceed their rights. But everybody has a right under section 37 and above, right to speech. So since you have a right to speech, you should know what you are saying in the country. You cannot say something that will destroy the country. This is what you are saying. Yes. So we should know what we are saying. We should know our boundary. of our speech. We should not say anything, everything about anything you comes to without weighing it to see whether it will affect the country or not. So we have to be, since we have something like we should exercise this judiciously.
It has to do with calling out maybe a government official or an elite. What would you have to say in that aspect? Calling out a government official maybe who have abused office or abused public fund, or calling out an elite entirely. You see, they say you see before you know it, the person is being apprehended.
No, because if you somebody hold office, then you say something against it. Maybe if they are arresting the person in the office has his own evidence. Maybe the person making a statement against him, he asks him, arrest him, they let him bring his evidence. If he fails to bring evidence, he should not be arrested or he should not be detained. What we are saying, you should have the evidence. Produce evidence. That's what we are saying. Once you have the evidence, there's no way. That's why we have human rights activists. Once you have evidence, then if they treat you wrongly, then the human rights will intervene. So it is evidence that people don't have, and that is why then you now see that they are saying they are arresting everyone because they say the truth against the person that hold the position. No, the person that hold the public office has his own evidence. Then you need to be arrested as a suspect to produce what you say what you said against him as an evidence. So there's no court. Let me tell you one thing in court. One thing people don't understand in judiciary is that even if you have truth, even if the act is committed before the judge, if the matter is before the court and it's before the judge that the act is committed before him, then he cannot tell the truth that no, you are the one that committed offense. No, the judge will watch and then see what type of the evidence you are bringing to prove yourself. Even if the act is committed before the judge that the matter is before him, he cannot testify and he cannot say no, you are the one that committed offense. It is your evidence will avail you in that case. That's what people fail to understand. Prove your case, not that what exactly happened. What exactly happened, you may have a truth, but we have no evidence to prove. Then that means the other person evidence that committed the other person that committed offense has evidence against you, and the truth is that you are the one that is innocent. Then that's why you are the one that is innocent. If you cannot prove the case before the court of law, court deal with evidence. Marry with the fact before it. But because you are innocent, if you fail to prove your case well before the court of law, the other person, if you prove based on the evidence we have on ground, then the case should be given judgment against that person. That's why people don't understand the judiciary. The judiciary deals with this, evidence before it.
But Barrister, I want you to give us a clear understanding if the judiciary is working in favor of some people. I asked that question because there is a case a few weeks ago in your state where someone who stole just a fowl was sentenced to death if not for the intervention of the state governor. Now we've had cases, we've had people commit more crime than that. We've seen people abuse public. We've seen government officials abuse public fund. We've seen them mismanage public fund. Then how come? What is the weight of the person who stole just a fowl to be sentenced to death? That is why I had to ask you if the judiciary is working in favor of.
No court. No court. Let me answer this one. No court.
What happened during the
let me address that one first. Yes. No court in this country will sentence somebody to death just because of fowl. It's a lie. Go and check. No, go and check the case. There must be something link. There must be connection. Maybe the fact before the court, the initial stage of the case, maybe is a foul. But as today, it's not only solely on issue of foul to be sentenced to say no court can do that.
It would have been made known to the public just the same way the foul.
Go and check the case very well.
The foul was, made known to the public.
No, go and examine the case very well. You will not see that it's not just because of foul the sentence of a person to death. It's a lie. One thing with the issue is that there must be a meaning to art. The foul may be one of the issue. Then connected to other issues. Then people just hear foul. Then they begin to spread in the country that because of foul they sentence somebody to death. No, I told you that. Court deals with evidence.
So why do you think if they were more crime or heavier crime than just stealing a fowl, why it wasn't made known to the public about what was made known to the public was just stealing a fowl?
No. Evidence before the court. We didn't say that nobody can tell you that because court give judgment against this or because a big man or because this one is not a big man. Because It will have evidence before the court. This is what we are saying.
Because why I say so,
court deals with evidence.
We've seen people, especially government officials, mismanage public fund, and at the end of the day, nothing is being done to them. Then how come? But that's, by the way, our time is. Did
you have evidence against them? If you have evidence against them, you go to court and prove. The court will give judgment in your favor. That's the problem we have. We do talk, but no evidence on ground.
Over the time, cases like that have been swept under the carpet. But then, before we wrap up this program, tell us the role education and awareness creation can do in educating people more on human rights and preventing abuses. That's
what I say. Most of the team, we human rights activists, and then other security, we should be organizing workshops and other things to be informing people on how important their right is. So if you are doing these things, I'm assuring you will not see the country will move well. But when we are saying no, the right of such person has been breached, and the right of other person, because this person has nobody, we cannot also go to the court and protect his rights. I'm telling you that will not be done. Workshops, notifying people, that's workshops, and then saying things different, like in your station here. That is saying that you have a right to do this, you have a right to do that. Come different villages and different places. If we are organizing those workshops, I'm going to tell you all the citizens will know their rights. But what you are saying, rights, we as a lawyers, we should treat all the citizens equally. That because all the citizens have equal right before the law, and then no one should be separated. All being in armed forces, being in civilian, being in whatever, all we have right in the constitution. So we should be treated such citizens equally. Not that you say this one because it's armed forces or this one is security agency, then the civilians should be more protected. No.
So as a legal advisor, what advice do you have to security agencies or security bodies in for the sake of peace and harmony in our country? I want some words of advice from you as a legal advisor to our security bodies in abusing the civilian right.
What do I say? I told you that you cannot conclude to say security agencies are abusing civilian rights.
I haven't concluded. I am just saying, because on the internet we see a lot of cases. Even as last week we saw a lady who came out in the internet, was crying. The police, what happened according to her?
You know what is killing Nigeria is the media. You don't know the roots of what occurred. Do you know the roots of what occurred? Does that mean somebody has a right? Then you should see this right. Section 45 that limit his right. Then you should allow the security agent to fold his hand, and then allow the person, like what exactly I told you in the issue of this other leader where it's waiver stamp. Then they should fold their hand because they are afraid of lawyer, they are afraid of us. Then they should. Also, member of that armed forces also have a right. Yeah, then his right needs to be, if his right cannot be protected, then they should not come out and protect their member. It's not possible. We said they exceed their rights. Look, let me tell you what you don't understand. I'm bringing this case because it is a current case that happened now. Criminal trespass to the person. The Major General that has been stamped by the member of Miente Allah or Fulani, as the case may be, is a criminal trespass to the person. So what we need to do as a lawyer, we should come out and write also petition against the Miente Allah or against the member of the leader of the Miente Allah. Did you get what I'm saying? So, but we did not do so. But when the leaders of the armed forces now take, they protect their own member, then we come out and write petitions. We say it's wrong because they detain the leader of the Miente Allah. Which of course the armed forces have a right. They are working in accordance with their law under section 40 of the Terrorism and Prevention Act, because such particular leader of the Miente Allah has never once come out and say nothing concerns me. If a member committed an act, you should not put me. I'm not part of that act. No, but there's nowhere in media or any other person that say he has no business with such particular act of his member. Now, how did you expect them not to arrest the leader for them to provide the member of the member that committed the offense? And the member, since people cannot come out and protect the right of the Major General, which he has equal right in the Constitution, so the armed forces and other security, they have to stand up. Let us speak about their right. They also have right in the Constitution. It's not only civilian. The right in the Constitution is not only applied to the Constitution. They should also have fruits of the Constitution. They also have they should enjoy the fruit of the Constitution because they also have a right again. So what you are saying is that everybody should be treated equally
and
before the law.
Everybody is the beneficiary of the human right, isn't it?
Of course, all. But I told you, most of us lawyers forgotten that the rights in Constitution applies to citizens all, applies to even the armed forces. Thinking the armed forces has no rights, the right in Constitution does not apply to armed forces. That's why you see petition anyhow, you see litigation anyhow. Those who have a right, it's left for the armed forces to stand up and fight for their right again in the Constitution, because they even have a function to protect the country. Under Section 217, 218, they have a right to protect the country against external aggression and other issues again. So they don't, because they are afraid of violate, arresting or taking action against the civilian, and then they should allow the civilian to exercise a right exceeding his normal right as in the Constitution.
Right,
no, this is what you are saying.
Barrister, for your time this evening, we really do appreciate it. And viewers, this is where we have to draw the curtain for today's episode on Spotlight with Mercy. Thank you so much for watching, and do stay tuned on Kaftan Television for more updates. Have yourself a great evening.